Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Brent Hardig, and I am your host for the Wealth Commitment, and we are producing Wealth Warriors. It is my pleasure to be with you this morning. I always enjoy my Saturday mornings with the tribe, and it is pretty daggone exciting. Today, I am pleased to have done a Larry King Live. I have totally changed the climate. We had the month of August dedicated to another key to the 12 keys of wealth. However, what ends up happening is in the midst of this, something comes up and I've got to change the game. And I did. I changed the game because I found something so incredibly powerful as I was doing this exercise that I went, GameStop, we need to roll it back and take a look at something that is phenomenally powerful. And that's why today, are you really committed to wealth? And I'm actually working from a book, a workbook that Robert H. Randolph actually wrote that he offered to all of us a few weeks ago when he was on the show. And I went, nobody took us up on this particular book. And it made me sit and wonder, why didn't we take it up? Not one person said, hey, Brent, send me the workbook for mastering the power of commitment, the one that was written by Robert Randolph. In fact, actually, I like it, the title, because it goes on to say unlimited success through the power of commitment. And that is, are we in fact committed? Now, I will tell you this, Bob had a little bit of technical difficulty. We hope that he will in fact be with us, but I'll tell you what, that is not going to stop me from discussing this. You know why? Because I am actually in the process of doing the work that's associated with this book. He says that several years ago, he took a seminar and it was on the subject of wealth. He said he learned a lot, the subject of commitment. He said he learned a lot about commitment. He said, but here's the deal. What he didn't learn was how to apply the new knowledge that he attained from the course that he took. How to make it a part of everyday life. And that's part and parcel of what we're going to do. So we're redesigning this month, and I'm adding a 13th key, and that is commitment. Are we committed to doing the work that it's going to take to get whatever we want in life? And I will tell you, as I started working with this, I realized it is work. It is work to be committed to whatever it is we want to do, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in wealth, whether it's in our own well-being, whether it's in our children, whether it's in work, our jobs, whether it's in our businesses, whatever it takes to be committed. It takes work. He goes on to say that he sat down and he made a list of all the negative things and circumstances that were drowning him. I love that. He says, then he started to write down all the positive things and circumstances that he wanted to have in his life. He went on to say that somehow it became clear that these negatives were being held in place by, as he says here, my commitment to having those things in my life. Now, is that, when you read that, you're sitting up here going, excuse me, what? Yeah, he says it was out of that realization that the ideas for reviewing what he was committed to and the process for creating new commitments aligned with what he truly wanted became a reality. And so it was on that basis that I went, you know what? I asked the question is, how committed are we to creating wealth? How truly committed are we to doing that? So what I decided to do today, and hopefully Bob will be able to join us, but what I decided to do today was to delve in right now. And if we miss him this week, guess what? We will catch him next week. But here's the deal. It starts off the introduction. It's called the commitment process. And commitment, in fact, is a process. And what he talks about here is the seminar is about a powerful creative process that is guaranteed. Whoa! I won't tell you what the rest of the line says. However, I will say this. You will want to get the book on page 5 and read the first paragraph. You will see what I'm talking about. Here, a gentleman, a German philosopher, speaks about wealth. And Bob read this to us previously, and I want to read it again. It says, the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence. So what is providence? I'll come back to that. Then providence moves to. All sorts of things occur to help that which would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen events, meetings, and material assistance, which no man would have dreamed would come his way. Powerful. So let's go back and dissect that a little bit. It's about a moment when you definitely commit. You know, sometimes in our lives, we just say, enough is enough. I've had it. I'm done. And it is at that moment, then the probability is we've made a decision. Now, here's the deal. We've got to make the decision. In that moment, a decision is made. It says, then providence moves to. That means the forces, the convergence of whatever it takes in order for that commitment to be fulfilled, then providence, all the universe falls into place. Universe, energy. You know, a lot of times people say, oh, Brent, I don't believe in the law of attraction. Well, we believe in energy, and energy forces, it goes with energy. Energy likes energy. You know, sometimes you wonder why we are attracted to a certain person, or a certain person is attracted to us. And I'm not talking about personal relationships, but I'm talking about, for example, from a business perspective. You say to yourself, why is it that a person likes, or people converge on this person and they really like this person? It's because they draw them to them, because they have an energy, or they have a force that draws them to a person, and they connect. And so providence is coming together. So again, the question becomes, are you committed to wealth? Because commitment to wealth is going to be work. Now, it says here, all sorts of things occur to help that. And that, you know, I have been noticing here lately in my own life, in my own business life, that providence is taking over. Yesterday, I had an amazing day where 3 activities that I am involved in, I heard from each of the parties relative to it, and it's moving in the right direction. So providence is taking over. And it says that a whole stream of events issues from the decision. I made a decision. You make a decision. And then, you know, what's interesting is you start to notice all these forces coming together. You know, and it says here, raising one's favor, all manner of unforeseen incidents, meetings, material assistance, the things that we're looking for, which quite frankly, it goes on to say, which no man would have dreamed would come his way. And yet they do. And I got to tell you, that is so powerful. And it's called the process of the commitment. So I want to actually go through some of the pieces that you're going to read about should you decide to take the plunge. First of all, let's talk about a definition of commitment. And here it says, it's a state of having obligated or pledged oneself That means we have to pledge, and it can't be, oh, I want to do this or I want to be that. No, it is the I am. I am powerful. It's the I ams that feed into our subconscious mind. It goes on to say here that it's also to carry into deliberate action. That means that the things that we're doing are deliberate to get us to those goals. Way too often we go the I wants, the I'm gonnas, but yet we don't make that powerful move to take the action necessary. And in particular, the action that feeds into the commitment that we said we were going to have or that we wanted. It is about the decision we made, the decision, the commitment, and then it is the action that we take. It goes on to talk about the characteristics of commitment. So what are those characteristics? It says that the commitment involved in a relationship. It says if we delve deeper into the notion of commitment, we see that there is much more to the subject of commitment. So let's take a look at a relationship. It's much more than, well, let's say a marriage. We're going to a marriage. It is much more than I am committed to this person. It really is a list of commitments because it is the things that we will do that are part of that commitment. And it goes on to share with us, or the writer, which is Robert, goes on to share with us that that there is a lack of knowledge about the basic fact that causes unsuccessful relationships. And he talks about the fact that people seldom go beyond the basic of I am committed to you. It says that seldom are the other implied commitments examined that derail us from what we say that we actually want. Because I'm committed to your well-being. I'm committed to certain fulfillments. I'm committed to a spiritual growth. I'm committed to these. And it says that not many people are willing to share their complete list of commitments with their partners. And that is wild. This is a person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, but yet you're not willing to share all of the details of the commitment. And so as a result of it, oftentimes we end up derailing what should have been a lifetime commitment. Erhardt, who was the founder of a training program known as EST, says we are never not committed. Have you ever heard that when a person says, do you want something? And there are three answers. There's yes, no, and no. What do you mean by that, Brent? Yes, no, and no? Well, see, there is the yes because you've been affirmative. You've said, yes, I want. There is the no that says, no, I don't want. And then there is this silence. And what is silence? Silence is a no. Because a decision has been made. You've neither said yes or you've said no. You've been uncommittal. And see, uncommittal at the end of the day is a no. So let's take a further look at what Erhardt has to say. He says, we are never not committed. The question is, what are we committed to? So when I said, are you really committed to wealth? When nobody said, let me get this book and find out what commitment is, either one of two things happened. Either we didn't understand the question, or we really need to take a look at what are we committed to. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to ask you, go up to our elusive, exclusive Wealth Warriors Facebook page and let us know. # I am committed. Hashtag I am committed. Hashtag I am committed. And then what are we committed to? Are we committed to wealth? Because see, you know what? We write it down and then it gets lodged in our subconscious mind so that we take action. We take the actions that are necessary to get to wealth. But hold up. There's some steps before we can do that. But first of all, are you committed? I want you to go up to our elusive exclusive Wealth Warriors Facebook page. And I want you to write in, I am committed. I am committed to the process. I'm committed to the process of creating wealth. That's what I'm committed to. So the question for all of us is, what are we committed to? Now, he goes on to talk about the fact that the truth of the matter is that we are committed to be, do, or have a very large list of things or circumstances. So what he's telling us is that we are unconsciously committed to many circumstances or ways of being in the world. It's just who we are. We're here. We exist. He says, but we often unconsciously commit to what we be, what we do, and what we have in our lives. And so again, I go back to the truth of the matter is we are committed to being, to doing, to having a very large list. We're just not necessarily aware of it. And I like, there's a breakdown here. He says, many times we find ourselves in a state of breakdown. Why? We feel like everything is going wrong. And what it means is that the original commitments that we made are not in sync. They are not in sync. In fact, let me read the sentence. It says, it means that we are out of sync with our original commitments. And then we accuse life or the universe of trying to do us in. And we don't understand what's going on. In fact, what we feel or what we think or what we see or what we hear is that the universe is trying to sabotage us. And the reality is that's not true. That's what incredible is. It's not true. And I want to read to you something that's in here. I love this. It says, for example, in June of 1987, which was many, many years ago, but here's the beauty. It says you buy a brand new car, a brand new shiny car. And then one day in June of 1994, I'm beginning to think that this was a real story here. But anyway, in June of 1994, you find yourselves sitting by a broken down car on the side of the highway. You never notice that you unconsciously changed your commitment to this. I will drive this car as long as it lasts. Now, how many of us have actually said that? Drive it to as long as it lasts. Here's the deal. And we're surprised. We're frustrated. And maybe even downright pissed off that this so-and-so old car has had the nerve to break down. See, here's the deal. Of course, there are many subtleties that are involved in this story, as Bob says, about commitment. But we're keeping it simple. We said back then we had the new bright, shiny car. And then we changed the commitment. And the new bright, shiny car became, I'm going to drive this thing until it lasts. I'm going to drive this thing into the ground. Because that's what we said when we said, I'm going to make this last. That meant we were going to drive this thing right into the ground. And you know what? many of us have done just that. Does this sound like something that has occurred for us? Because truly, that in fact is the case. So let me ask you something. Thus far, have you had a hashtag moment? Have you had a nugget moment? I want you to hashtag nugget and tell us what the nugget is. What is the nugget that you've gotten so far out of what we have going on? Because you know, we're going to make another offer here regarding this workbook. Again, the workbook for mastering. In fact, I want somebody to say, master the power of commitment. I want somebody to hashtag master the power of commitment, because there is an unlimited success that we are able to attain through the power of ourselves, through the power of being committed. See, that's a being, a doing, a having. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to talk about the process. You know, there is a step-by-step process, and Bob refers to it as the commitment process. So let's talk about it a little bit. He says here, and again, you're going to be able to read much of this. I'm paraphrasing. I'm pulling out the things that I want you to hear, that will move you to take action. I am hoping to inspire you, because truly, I spent a lot of time working on this. I'm not done yet, but I spent a lot of time working on this so that I could bring it to you. So here we go. It says that Bob has created an 8-step process to being committed. He says that this 8-step process, and he calls it a commitment process, will definitely get your life moving. It will also create the space for things to happen, for things to appear in your life, and almost effortlessly. Do you remember when Bob talked about a parking space, or you want a green light and you want to have green lights throughout the way that you're driving? Well, I'll tell you what I didn't share with him is I have been doing that part for years, is that I will put that energy into the universe that says that I want green lights, that I need green lights and I need traffic to move fast. I need traffic to move quickly. I have been able to materialize parking spots as well. So you're sitting here probably saying, okay, Brent, if you've been able to do that, what happened? Well, I found out I wasn't as committed. I wasn't taking the action that was relative to the commitment that I said about the things that I wanted. And I learned that through this process. So let's talk about it a little bit. He says we start by looking at what we are currently committed to. And he says to discover what you're currently committed to, all you need to do is see what you currently have in your life: your car, your house, your state of health. All these things are manifestations of what you're committed to having, to being, and to doing. You may find out that you're committed to driving that 1989 Chevy with the rumpled fenders when you come, and he says that when you could be committed to driving a Mercedes-Benz 450 SL, or maybe you find that you're currently committed to being unsatisfying, unfulfilling, and in a loveless relationship. Maybe we are committed to that because subconsciously we're accepting that 1989 Chevy. We're accepting being in an apartment when we ought to be in a house. We're accepting our state of health because we're not going to a doctor and getting our body totally checked out. Maybe we really are committed to the things because we're in the state that we're in. He goes on to say that we have to be about the process. It says here that the commitment process really allows us to get in touch and to get clear about our commitments. Um, he says that what what we want to have, the things, the toys that we want to have, the cars, the boats, the computers. He says here, when we talk about commitment, it's the things that we're looking for. What do we want to do? What do we want to achieve? What do we want to accomplish in our lives? Our state of being, what we want to attain. Do we want to be happy? Do we want to be healthy? Do we have self-expression? He says that the exercise allows us to identify and to change the current commitments that we're no longer fulfilling in our life, or we're no longer having that enhancement of our life. And it's called the process, the commitment process. Here we go. Here's a chart. I love the chart. The chart starts off, and it literally is a step by step. And in some instances, you say to yourself, oh, come on. Are you for real? Is this for real? Well, I'm going to ask you this. How you doing so far? How are we doing so far? Are we wealthy? Are we physically wealthy? Are we spiritually wealthy? Are we financially wealthy? Are we legacy wealthy? And if you're watching this broadcast and you really are about the business of creating wealth, and you are not able to affirm and say yes to all of those things, then what do you got to lose? We have everything to gain. So let's talk about the steps. The first step, ironically enough, is find a pencil and a pad that you can use to make some rather long lists. And he actually gives you in fact, you don't even need to go and get the pad. It's in the workbook already. So you can just turn to the notes section of the workbook. And he says, find a quiet place to be with yourself, without the kids, without the hubby, without the partner, without your loved ones. Just be in a space of you. Why? Because you deserve to be in a space of you, where you're undisturbed for about 1 to 2 hours. Can you imagine having private time just for you? That's what we're talking about, just for you. I want somebody to go up on our Elusive Exclusive Facebook site. Tell us, where are you going to spend that private time? Where is the private time? No, we're not going to come and invade you. I can hear somebody saying, wait a second, if I tell you where my private space is, you might come and invade it. I'm not going to come and invade it. And neither is anybody else, because we want you to have your space. So where is your space? Well, I want to tell you something. Before we continue on, I want everybody to go up onto our Elusive Exclusive Facebook site, and I want you to invite somebody in, because this is important stuff. In fact, with everything else that we've talked about, from credit to real estate to mortgages to entrepreneurship, with all of those things that we have discussed since April, key number 13, commitment, is that iconic element that we forget to embrace. That is a crucial part. It is the thread that flows through the rest. So what I'm asking you to do is to invite somebody into this conversation this morning. Invite somebody in to this most important dialogue this morning. I want you to hashtag "this is important." Hashtag "I got a nugget." I want you to, you know what? Here we go. We're going to do a flash mob right now. I want you to go to your Twitter handle. That's right. Go to your Twitter handle, and right above you should be able to click and see the Twitter symbol. I want you to go to your Twitter handle, and I want you to say, join the Elusive Exclusive Wealth Warrior Facebook page. I want you to come here, join the conversation. It is open to the public today. Want you to join, because we got good new stuff going on. We got important stuff going on. Get ready. On your mark, get set, go to Twitter right now. Your name, where you are called, where you are watching this from, what you do, and tell everybody, join us at the Elusive Exclusive Wealth Warriors Facebook page. Now, that may be 160 characters. It may be more than 160 characters. So let's shorten this thing down. Your name, where you are hailing in from, and join us on the Elusive Exclusive Facebook page, the Wealth Warriors Elusive Exclusive Facebook page. Do it. Do it now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Let's see if you're committed to helping your fellow man by bringing everybody to the conversation this morning, because this is important stuff. It's about being committed. Did you do it? I'm going to find out. Okay, so let's continue on. So we did step number 1. We got that pad. Step number 2, we found a location to sit down in for 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours with ourselves. The next step, at the top of the page, you want to write the following. As of now, in fact, somebody put this into our Elusive Exclusive Wealth Warriors Facebook page, please. As of now, comma, these are the things, and in capital letters, I am committed to being, doing, and having in my life and circumstances. So let's try that again. As of now, comma, these are the things I am, capital letters, I am committed to being, doing, and having in my life and circumstances. And then I want you to get started. Now he says here, note that I have used the I am in capital letters. And he says that suggests that it is your inner person, your inner self, your subconscious, the part of you that keeps your heart pumping, your breathing, your life continuing even when you're sleeping. It's that inner part of you that creates your life. It's the moment to moment. And it says, when you speak the I am phrase, you're actually speaking to every cell in your body. And you're saying to every cell in your body to take note that this is what must happen. So as a result, your body begins to align itself with the I am statements that we feed it. Because that's what we're doing. We're feeding it. And here's the deal. It's generally in our subconscious. So a lot of times we don't even notice that in fact is what's happening, is we're feeding it in. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put together that list. And quite frankly, that list should be pages long. It should be pages long. And what you're doing is you're talking about everything is reading, I am committed to having, being, or doing. And it is about what's happening right now in our life. I am committed to having an apartment. I am committed to having a house. I am committed to having a 1979 Chevrolet. I am committed to having no money in my bank account. I am committed, whatever it is that I am committed to. I am committed to being spiritual. I am committed to being religious. I am committed to being a mother. I am committed to being a sister. I am committed to being a father. I am committed to being a dad. I am doing everything it takes to live my life. I am doing me. I am doing my job, whatever that job is. I am doing. So it's I am having, I am being, I am doing. It's what's happening for you right now. And I'll tell you, it was a challenge because last night I found myself adding to that list. And what I saw was I was actually writing future things. I was writing the new stuff. It is about the here and now, which I've got to tell you can be somewhat challenging because you're looking at this and you want so desperately to write what you want in your life right now, what you want to be committed to, but that's not the exercise. In order for us to actually see ourselves, in order for us to be able to move forward, there's a very powerful exercise that Bob gives us. Because we've got to break away from what's happened in the past so that we can move forward with what we're going to be committed to in the coming future, in the here and now. And the future may be today. This is not an exercise that you're going to be able to do snap, snap, snap. First of all, I shared with you that you're going to probably spend a good hour to 2 hours. And in fact, I would encourage you to make this a near long day. Now, what do I mean by a near long day? You're going to spend 1 to 2 hours writing up all of these things right now. Oh, in that hour. And then you're going to lay it down. And I'm going to tell you, your mind is going to start delivering things to you. Because I'll tell you what I just realized I didn't write. I'm committed to being a sister. I'm committed to being an auntie. I didn't write that on my list. And I know that because I'm just thinking about what I wrote. So you want to give yourself a good day of just carrying that around back and realizing, wow, I didn't write that. I didn't write this. So that at the end of the day, you've got lists. Or you've got one immensely powerful, long list of the things that are happening in your life right now. Now, Bob goes on, the next step, step 4, it says, you want to review your life up until today. And really it is. It's from the time you were born. If you were 25 years old, it's for what's happened over the last 25 years that you can remember. If you are 50 years old, if you're 60, 70, 80, we got a lot of writing to do we not? Because things are going to stop popping up and percolating and hitting us that we want to write out. And he says here, again, review your life up until today. List everything you have, being, and doing as fast as it comes to your mind. Do not try to edit it right now because you want that flood. You do not want a stopgap. You want that flood of information coming to you. It says, later on, you're going to do the editing job. But right now, you just want to get everything on paper. Include your career in your list, as well as relationships, money, circumstances, everything and anything. And it says to be sure to begin each sentence with the phrase capital I, capital A-M, capital A and capital M, A-M. I am committed to being, having, doing, and then fill in the blank for whatever it is you're committed to. Make sure you include the stuff you don't like being, doing, having. I don't like being broke. I don't like not having money in my bank account. I don't, I'm trying to think about something relative to taxes. I don't like having to pay 25% in taxes. Those are the things. Want you to put together that list of items that you are committed to. And it ought to be a long list of items. And then Bob is saying in step 5 that so that was step 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let me go back just a moment on that for you, just so that we're real clear once again. Step 1 was, and you'll notice I have the words done. So the things that I have done. And it says, find, get the pencil and the pad, find the quiet place, and put at the top of your sheet, as of now, These are the things I am committed to being, doing, and having in my life and circumstances. And then review your life as it stands today. And we're going to start making the list. I am committed. And then you want to define out what you are actually committed to. And then step 5 is that we're going to review, or you are going to review the list, and you want to review it carefully and be honest with yourself. You know, the one person to thine own self be true. Be honest with yourself. Add things that you missed. And then for each item on the list, ask yourself if you want to continue being committed to it. Do you want to continue being committed to being broke? Do you want to continue being committed to having no money in your bank account? Do you want to be committed to having less than 6 months of your monthly expenses in your bank account? Do you want to be committed to being an entrepreneur? Do you want to be committed to being an entrepreneur in a specific field? Do you want to have the most amazing marriage possible? So again, look at your list. What do you want to continue being committed to? And if the answer is no, then put a check mark by it. All of the unwanted things in your life. And then step 6, the most amazing thing for that process, and that is this. You want to make a new list. Brent, good grief. Listen. What did I share with you? Work. Get familiar with a 4-letter word. Work. Because it is work. If you start looking at reading books about what the wealthy do, what the powerful do, they have done the work. So now what's happening is you and we're going to elevate and we're going to expedite our game because we have powerful SMEs that are with us. We said we're giving ourselves 12 months to create some incredible wealth. And you know, April, May, June, July, August, we're 5 months in. This is the 5th month. So you know what? Somewhere around September, October, there should be testimonies going on right now because we should have done some powerful things. You know, we have an SME to help us with clearing up our credit. Commitment. We have SMEs to help us purchase real estate. Committed. We have SMEs for a multiplicity of the 12 items that we need. And now we added the thread among them all, which is number 13. Number 13 is the commitment. Are we committed to the 12? So what it says here is make a new list. At the top of the new page, we want to write, as of today's date, I am committed to having, being, and doing the following in my life. I am committed to having, being, and doing the following in my life. And then we're going to transfer any items from the first list that we want to continue to be committed to being, having, or doing. So again, we're going to transfer all of the things from the first list that we want to continue being committed to doing. And that's only getting us to step 6. That's right. It's getting us to step 6. And then there is step 7 and step 8. Wow. So what is step 7? This is a critical piece of the puzzle. And it's so critical. You know what? I'm not going to share it with you. You're going to have to do the work to get that. But it is a critical piece. And Bob says that this person, what you're going to do shows that you are a person that is seriously committed to creating a new set of commitments in your life. It says this step 7 is part of the subconscious now freeing itself to move forward with the new set of commitments or guidelines for creating what we want in our lives. If that is not powerful, I don't know what else is. So this number 7, the only way you're going to get it is if you get the book. That's right. I showed you the title so that you would know what it is. Step 8. It says that we have to review that new set of commitments one by one. Say each sentence out loud if we can. And sometimes as loud as you can. I am committed to achieving my ideal weight of 140 pounds by December 2016. What it is that you are committed to. Now, what I want you to note in this sentence is you've said, I am committed, right? I am committed to achieving my ideal weight. And you put a timeline on it. It's not just, I am committed and it's willy-nilly. No, it's not willy-nilly. You've put some definitives on that. He goes on to say here, make a commitment to read the entire list for the next 21 days. That's the period of time that it takes for the subconscious and the rest of our mind and body to get the message. Remember, we talk about it takes 7 days to initiate. It takes 21 days to cause it to become a habit. It takes 180 days to make it a lifetime. So we want to initiate a habit, but in order to lock and load that habit, it's got to be 21 days. And then from there, we are moving. It's in our subconscious. It's a part of our body. And then notice something miraculous, that our lives unfold from that day forward. Now again, notice how your life unfolds from that day forward. And that is absolutely amazing. And we say, caution, look out for the miracles in your life. Look out for the miracles in your life. Is that heavy duty or what? Is that heavy duty or what? I will tell you that I am so ecstatic, so incredibly ecstatic. So here is the deal. The commitment process, it's 8 steps to being amazing. You know, you may notice 1 or 2 items that you want to add, and go ahead and add them. And what Bob is saying here, though, is that it is a good idea to have a redo every 3 to 6 months. You want to have a redo of what the process is all about. I don't know. It's pretty exciting. Now, I have to laugh because Bob shared with us, he's chiming in via texting, and he is hoping that we haven't scared everybody off. Commitment can sometimes scare people off. It really can scare you. And you may say, Brent, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to tell you something. We have just given you something phenomenally powerful. And if you do not do it, there aren't any more excuses because you are taking a mind body approach to being phenomenally successful, to creating something powerful in your life and existence. And I got to tell you, I am really, really ecstatic about the fact that this exists. So here's the deal. Next week, we are going to be talking about how we apply. We're going to spend some time in the game called commitment. There is the application of the process in our personal life, in our business, and in getting rid of the past. We are going to spend the rest of August getting totally committed. Bob even gave us an appendix, gave us some examples. As of April 17th, 2016 or 2015, I am committed to doing, being, and having the following in my life. That wasn't the actual date that he put on here, but one of the things that he said is, and I love this list. He says, "I'm committed to creating." Now, this is after you've done the being, doing, having. He says here, though, you'll hear the word having a lot. I am committed to creating and having a growing business that has a consistent high level of ongoing cash flow. Wow, I love this sentence. That was great. Here's another one. I am committed to having an upscale, luxurious lifestyle that is easily supported by my ongoing income. I mean, some of these appendix items are absolutely outstanding. I am just loving it. So we are going to spend some time getting committed. Getting committed. So here's the deal. I am looking for you to get committed. Here's how you get committed. 617-438-7949. Again, area code 617-438-7949. And I want you to put in that, I want you to type in committed. And I am going to make sure you get a copy of this workbook. You want to put in committed and then give me your email address so that I can send this to you. Now, what I'm hoping is we do not lose our audience for the month of August because everybody goes, "Oh, I don't feel like doing that exercise." How serious are you about your commitment to having wealth? Because now we're going to workbook it. How serious are you? That's what I'm saying to you. We're getting ready to start a boot camp. We haven't forgotten about the boot camp. We are getting ready to start a boot camp. And in order for that boot camp to go forward, we got to be committed to some things that make that happen. We're going to be doing a real estate boot camp. We're going to be buying real estate. I expect by December, there will be wealth warriors that will be writing in. They will be stating and letting everybody know, I just bought my house. Why? Because I made the commitment and I did the work that's going to yield me the results. Some are going to say that I have become an entrepreneur. Yesterday, Friday, the jobs report came out, and the jobs report indicated that the millennials, if you are a millennial, then you are more likely to create incredible wealth for yourself as an entrepreneur, because the jobs, although we've added jobs to the market, the jobs may not, one, be in the field that you're interested in. They may not be in the field of your degree. They may not be paying you what you need, or feel you are worth. And so you're either going to be supplementing that income, or you are going to be saying, I'm worth this and I will get paid this because I'm putting myself out in the marketplace. Good, because guess what? I heard I was at an incredible women's conference last week, and I loved something that one of our speakers said. And each and every one of you is this: you are the CEO of Me Inc. That is you. You are the CEO. Say it here. Me Inc. And there's nothing selfish or wrong about that. But you are the CEO, and I am anticipating that we will have this young lady on with us who talks about branding ourselves, because you are your own brand. So now you are taking your uniqueness and you're bringing it to the marketplace. Well, guess what? Part of figuring out what your uniqueness is will be a journey down commitment lane. I am so enthusiastic for every single one of us. Today is make a decision. Today, make a decision to be committed to Me Inc. Make a decision to do the work that is necessary for you to be committed. It's been a wonderful, wonderful hour with every single one of you, all of the tribe. I appreciate you tremendously. I love the fact that you are here, and I enjoy spending time with you. It is going to be such an incredible honor when we all come together at a conference and share our stories. I appreciate the young ladies that approached me on last Saturday and said, Brent, I watched Wealth Warriors. That you said that I'm there, I'm listening, and that you're taking in the information. You could not imagine how honored I was. So with that being said, in the inimitable words that I always give him credit for, go out and be amazing today. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.